Can we go back to Leonard Cohen?
Yeah.
Can we just? The things I feel when I listen to Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen or anything by him really, but that one.
Do you really want to get into it?
Let's go. What does that song mean to you? Is it love?
Oh boy. Well, first of all, it's mystery. Like it starts off about mystery. So what are you doing? You're doing this alternation between the two chords, so three notes at the same time. One is called the tonic, or you have the major and the relative minor, and he's alternating between them. There's only one note of difference between those two chords. One of them would be feeling sad. One of them would be more joyous, typically described. And so by altering one note, it's the minimal amount to take you back and forth between joy and happiness as that's encoded in us. So he starts off with that. I heard there was a scene. David played the Please the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? That's really interesting because he's using this technique called bathos, right? So the alternation between the sublime and kind of the guttural or ridiculous or the mundane, right? Mm-hmm. So he's like...
but there's a bitterness to it too. Is it just play?
Well, the way I hear it, again, a great song allows for different interpretations. You happen to be asking me, so I'm going to impart some stuff that probably isn't in the song, but why it speaks to me, and that's what makes it great. Yeah. The way I hear it is he doesn't believe the audience. You don't really care for music, do you? Then what are you doing listening to this, you stupid idiots? Yeah. Of course you care for music. You're too cool to care. So I see through you and screw you. That's like that's the energy I get out of it. Then he does this weird thing. It goes like this is where he should put the description of where he is in the chord progression, which is the tonic, right? It goes like this. And then he hits the fourth and the fifth, which are the two other major elements, the subdominant and the dominant, in functional harmony. So he's describing the chord progression in real time in the lyrics. And there's two ways this can come about in other songs. Like we had this example of Every Time We Say Goodbye. Do you know the song? Every time we say goodbye. No, I think it was Cole Porter, maybe, or Gershwin, maybe Porter. I don't know. I cry a little. There is no love song finer, but how strange the change from major to minor. Right? Like it's beautiful use. Nice. Wow. Then there's times when it's duplicitous. So, for example, you'll have. I guess my favorite examples of this are Johnny Cash's Ring of Fire. Mm-hmm. I fell into a burning ring of fire. Then what does he do with the lyrics in the tune? I went down, down, down. He goes up.
Yeah.
Right. And so the idea is like, oh, okay, that was a head fake.
Yeah.
Right. And another one of these, is Nina Simone's Feeling Good. Well, okay. So what do you get at? Birds flying high. You know how I feel. And sun up in the sky. You know how I feel.
That woman's voice.
She
doesn't give a damn, and yet she's
and I'm feeling it. But then what's the da-dum, da-dum?
Yeah.
It's like heavy stripping music. It's you're not in a good place. You're probably in some strip club with the last of your money. You're drinking lousy beer, some bad situation.
Yeah.
And she's feeling good? No, it's funereal. It's oppressive, right?
I never thought of that song that way. Wow.
Well, you think of it as joyous?
Yeah.
No. If you think about it, contrast it with Ray Charles, for example. Do you know Lonely Avenue? He goes, well, my room has got two windows, but the sunshine never comes through. It's really depressed. It's the same sort of vibe as Nina, but she's claiming that she's in great shape. So she's like a good case of the unreliable narrator. Leonard Cohen, to me, is talking about the unreliable audience that's too cool to be with the performer on stage. There are things that go with the music, like the Cole Porter stuff, that go against, like the Johnny Cash. I think these are the games that musicians play that the rest of us only sort of notice subliminally. Okay, fourth, the fifth. And then he should say something about the relative minor or he's giving you the secret, the baffled king. Completely. In other words, he doesn't know why it works. Yeah. Did Pachelbel know why Pachelbel's canon would work?
Yeah.
It was a discovery. That's the whole thing. Like some music is discovered and some music is invented. And he's talking about a musical discovery. He's talking about the Pythagorean power of the wave equation, and then superimpose, like, there's two genius intellectual concepts behind music, one of which is the wave equation. Usually we solve it for a one-dimensional medium because we're talking about strings or air columns. Occasionally you're talking about things like handpans or steel drums or metallophones or gamelons, whatever. And those have a wave equation too that's much more chaotic. The other equation is this crazy thing that 2 to the 19/12 is almost exactly equal to 3, which is what gave us even temperament. And so the tension between those two things is, in fact, one of these most beautiful stories. Inside of that system, that formula of the baffled king is a discovery. He's not really composing it. The reason he's baffled, imagine that you took like a little brush and you started brushing off, a pyramid under the sands. You might think that you created the pyramid by your brushing, but in fact, somebody else did it. That's why you're baffled, right?
That's beautifully put. You're right. And as creating one of the greatest songs of all time, and as he's doing it, he's baffled. And it's meta.
Leonard,
he's within the song.
And Leonard is baffled, is my contention. But he knows enough to know that he's baffled, right? And so the idea is that he is composing. He has the audacity to compose as David. He's echoing David at a minimum. And then in a later song, which I really wish we would discuss, that's totally dystopic, and you will not like it at all, is The Future, which contains this line that I think I used in my episode with Roger Penrose on The Portal. Note the subtle plug.
The portal.
I'm the little Jew that wrote the Bible. So there is this way in which Leonard Cohen, I think, is constantly coming to the idea of being a biblical-like scribe. And I think this is one of the great things that, you see Dylan doing this with All Along the Watchtower. You saw Warren Zevon, who we should talk much more about, doing this with a song called I Was in the House When the House Burned Down. Do you know this thing?
Mm-mm. No, this is embarrassing.
Oh, sweetheart. This is a great day.
Darling.
Warren Zevon is one of the most important songwriters of our time. And he's been largely forgotten by this generation. But, Bob Dylan would sing one of his songs in tribute. I've heard Bob Dylan, very small number of songwriters really move him. Woody Guthrie, Gordon Lightfoot, and Warren Zevon. By the way, Bob Dylan, if you're out there, appear on either one of our podcasts. We need to get your voice into a new medium for a new group.
Definitely.
This is a time for Bob Dylan,